Man, Minecraft for me is a fallback game. My friends and I, somehow every few months, we get this itch to just play again. We have a realm set up, and each time we reset everything, start over, just for giggles, right? Since we play on Xbox, or the Bedrock edition, we've never really been able to get mods or have easy access to them to try and spice up the gameplay. Except this time, Microsoft and Mojang did something different. Recently, they added these add-ons, which essentially are mods that you can add to your Bedrock version of Minecraft. These are different than the other worlds and things you can download from the marketplace because they can essentially be added to your existing world. So there's no need to reset your realm or start over your hardcore playthrough. Today, we're going to be diving into one of the bigger add-ons called Dragonfire. This was originally a mod, or a series of mods, over on the Java edition of Minecraft that's been ported over by two guys over at Spectral Studios. This add-on brings dragons into Minecraft. No, not that dragon. But unique dragons that you can find throughout the world to tame, ride, fly, and collect items to craft armor and weapons for each type. There are 29 total dragons to collect in this add-on. And in this video, I'm going to go over everything that you need to know when starting out. What each dragon does, what their armor and weapon looks like, and its unique abilities, as well as where to find each dragon so that you don't have to waste your time searching for hours. That's 8 from the free version, or the Lite, and 21 from the paid version, which is like 830 Minecraft coins, or like $5. Special shout out to those who have already joined the Wolf Pack. Recently, the channel crossed over into 3,000 subscribers. Dude, that's huge. Thank you guys. And if you guys enjoy my content and you wish to see more, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. You can find all of the links to my socials down below in the description, including a link to my Discord, where you can find channels to all of the amazing games that I've covered, including Starfield, Ark, Palworld, and more. It's gonna be a long video, so strap in. Chapters are linked down in the description, so you guys can jump to the information that you need much faster. Now let's get into the video. Now I'm playing on a realm, but this can be added to a single player world as well. But regardless of where you're playing, in order to add this, simply download it from the marketplace. Then you go into your world settings by clicking on the little pencil icon to the right of the world. You can then activate it by scrolling down to your resource pack section and selecting the Dragonfire pack. Just so you know, if you activate this, you will lose access to achievements for that world. It is treating it like a mod, so keep that in mind. Also, both the Lite and the paid version can work simultaneously. In fact, they work a lot better when they're run together than when they're run individually. After activating this pack and loading into your world for the first time, you'll be given a book. Now, this book gives you a very brief description of the mod and how it works. Now, when I say brief, I mean brief. One of my biggest complaints with this add-on is the lack of information that you are given at the start. It's a lot of trial and error and finding out things on your own, which is totally fine for some people. But for me, I'd like a little bit more information added to that book so that I know a little bit more when starting out. Like the elemental categories, for example. Each dragon is categorized into an element, and that element correlates to the abilities of the weapons that are crafted from the dragon scales that you collect. There are 9 elemental types: fire, wind, water, earth, sounds like Avatar, ice, lightning, wither, poison, and soulfire. Each one of these elements is associated with an effect. For example, fire will ignite the ground and the enemy upon hits, where water and wind both have the knockback enchantment intrinsically. The scales are dropped or pruned off of a dragon using shears. Now, the shears mechanic is a little wonky and has to be done and timed correctly. But in all honesty, it's much easier to just wait for the dragons to drop their scales naturally. It happens 1 to 2 times a day. You can place your dragons over some hoppers that are attached to a chest, and then you won't have to worry about collecting the drops. It'll be in the chest ready for you to use whenever you're ready. Currently, there are only 2 crafting patterns for the weapons that you need to know. The sword pattern, which is a 2 scale and 1 stick vertical line, and the hammers, which is 3 scales and 2 sticks at a diagonal into the corner, kind of like an arrow, looks like this. The armor recipes or patterns are exactly like the normal armor patterns, with the exception of the boots, which is 4, 7, 6, 9, if you're counting the boxes in a grid. Now, the one nice thing that the starting book does tell you is where to find some of the dragon traders wandering the world, as well as how to craft the Dragonpedia. This is your guidebook to all the dragons. It's made with 2 simple things: 1 scale, any scale that you can find, and 1 blank book. Simply combine the 2 in your crafting inventory and your new book is ready. This book is more like a tool that you're going to keep with you. And in order to use it, place it in your hotbar and left click on a dragon to open a description menu for more information about the dragon. Things like their name, their favorite food, as well as the dragon's stats, which we'll get into a little bit later. Let's go over the game mechanics on how to get yourself your own dragon. Step number 1, acquire a saddle. Just a normal saddle, nothing special. You can get these from temples or mine shafts or fishing, and alternatively, if you have already found a trader, you can buy a saddle for 1 emerald. Step number 2, find a wild dragon. These guys can spawn all over the place. Now, spawn rates are something the devs are going to address in the first patch, but I'll cover that later in the video. And I also specified a wild dragon, because you cannot tame one of the dragons the traders are walking around with. Step number 3 is very similar to how horses are tamed. Simply hitting L to mount the dragon will have you jump on their back. You're going to be kicked off repeatedly until you see that heart animation play, and you can now access the inventory. Step number 4, equip the saddle. In order to control the dragon, you need to equip the saddle. Once it's on, the dragon can attack with the left trigger. It can also fly. To fly, simply look up and hit A. Once you're airborne, to go up, look up. To go down, look down. Step number 5, sitting. Now that you have your dragon, you don't want it to run away, right? In order to dismount from the dragon, just crouch. This is also how you make the dragon sit. Crouch and then left trigger on the dragon to have them sit and stay put. This will keep them from wandering. Optionally, if you have a dragon's favorite food or you already learned what it was from using your Dragonpedia, you can tame them that way, similar to feeding horses apples. Once you have started to collect multiples of the same type of dragon, you can breed them. Exactly like any other animal mob in the game, feeding 2 dragons of the same type near each other will cause them to breed and drop an egg. Now, from my understanding, there is no significant difference between multiple dragons of the same type at this time. They all have the same base stats. I believe the framework is there to have random rolls essentially on different dragons, so they would have different base stats, so you can automatically find one that has, more health or one that's a little bit faster, just like you do with horses. But the devs haven't implemented that just yet. It's in the framework, but they're working on some other fixes before they push that through. You can upgrade your dragon stats, however, but the only way to do that is to find a dragon fruit trader. These traders can randomly spawn, rarely, inside of villages. You'll be able to trade for special fruits that you can give your dragons to level up their damage, their health, and their agility. These fruits are known as the Blaze Squash, the Vitali Pear, and the Zephyr Berries. Okay, now that's the main concept of the mod. Let's go over the 8 dragons in the Lite version first. The first dragon on the list is the Blaze Falcon, or the Phoenix Dragon. This dragon can be found in plains biomes as well as in the Nether. It can be tamed using Blaze Powder, while at the same time dropping Blaze Powder. The Blaze Falcon is a fire element type, so the sword is granted that special flame effect, but it doesn't just light the enemy on fire, it lights the ground beneath them on fire as well. The Blaze Falcon armor set bonus will also grant you what I'm deeming Flaming Thorns, because I'm not 100% sure it even has a name. But similar to Flame, when you're hit while wearing the full set, you will light the attacker on fire. Now pair that with a fire dragon sword, and there's literally fire everywhere. The set also gives you fire resistance too. The next dragon on the list is a variant of the Blaze Falcon called the Foley Falcon. This is the Forest Phoenix. It is native to any forest biome minus the snowy ones. It can be tamed using apples, and it drops seeds. The Foley Falcon is an earth typing, which means its weapon applies the slowing effect to enemies. And the armor set fittingly gives you thorns for free. Up next is the third variant of the Blaze Falcon, the Storm Falcon. This is the wind variant, which can be found in mountainous biomes. And its wind ability grants knockback to its weapon. It eats wheat seeds, and it also drops seeds like its counterparts. The armor set bonus is actually pretty cool. Not only does it apply knockback to the attackers after they hit you, but it also causes them to levitate, kind of like getting hit by a shulker. Onto the Magnus Dragon. This is the Magma Dragon, most commonly found underground near lava and in the Nether. It can be tamed with and drops magma blocks. Similar to the Blaze Falcon, it is also a fire type, so its hammer ignites the ground under your enemies, while the armor set bonus grants the user fire resistance 3. Next is the Ram Talon. This Demon Sheep Dragon is a wind typing, which grants its weapon knockback, and the armor set bonus is free feather falling. It can be tamed with wheat and actually drops white wool. This dragon is the first one on our list that can only be purchased through a wandering trader. This trader can be found roaming the plains biomes, and you'll need to trade seeds for a Ram Talon egg. Once you have the egg, simply place it on the ground and left click to hatch it. Be careful, the babies cannot be ridden and will wander away really easily. So until it's matured up to an adult, it's best to keep them in a pen or on a lead. You can feed the babies their favorite food in order to make them mature faster, just like other animal mobs. Now on to the Storm Stratus Dragon, aka the Cloud Dragon. It can be found in cold and mountainous biomes, and it is only one of 3 lightning element typings. That means that this weapon gets channeling. Yes, channeling. You can smite your enemies with lightning if you wish. The armor set bonus not only grants double jump, but also feather falling. It likes to eat mutton and does not have a secondary item drop. Now we have the Mummified Dragon. Obviously the Mummy Dragon. This one can be found in desert and mesa biomes, and this dragon is a Wither element typing. So its weapons apply the Withering debuff, and the armor set bonus also applies Wither to attackers. It can be tamed with Rotten Flesh, and it also drops Rotten Flesh. Lastly, for the free version is the Shard Dragon, or the Ice Dragon. Ice element means its weapon applies slowness to enemies, as well as does the armor set bonus. It can be found in any cold or frozen biome. It can be tamed with raw salmon and drops packed ice blocks. So that's all 8 dragons from the light or free version of Dragonfire. Like I said before, these versions are meant to work together, so it's perfectly fine to run them both. The free one has all of the same things as the full version, but 21 other dragons, of course. Now, let's go over those other 21 dragons, shall we? First on the list for the full version is the Ace Dragon. This is your typical light fire dragon. It can be found in plains biomes, and obviously is a fire element typing, which gives its weapon essentially the flame with extra steps. The armor set bonus, however, grants the user speed 2. It eats pork chops and will drop feathers. Second dragon on the list is the Clang Dragon. This is the Metal Dragon and can be found everywhere underground and in mountainous biomes. The Clang Dragon can be tamed with coal and will also drop raw iron. It is an Earth element typing, which means its weapons apply slowness to enemies. But the armor set bonus? Whew! Oh boy. This set bonus grants the user Absorption, which normally gives you a few extra golden hearts for a short time, right? Well, the set bonus on this never ends. It continuously refreshes, so you are almost immortal while wearing this set. Fire cannot hurt you, you cannot drown, arrows cannot pierce your armor. But I did say almost. You can still not swim in lava, you cannot fall from high places, and you cannot survive a supercharged creeper explosion. This one is the Cobra Dragon. Very fitting, it is a poison element typing, which gives the weapon a poison debuff. The armor set bonus is actually really cool. It has a chance to apply fatal poison to attackers, meaning anything that attacks you has a chance to receive a poison debuff that will never go away until it dies. The dragon can be tamed with rabbit meat and does not have a secondary item drop. This is our first bipedal dragon, and it is the Dragula Dragon. Found in dripstone caves and taiga forests, this dragon is a fire element typing, and its armor set bonus grants saturation when attacked, meaning it basically feeds you while you're being attacked, which that's pretty unique. It can be tamed with raw beef, and it also drops rotten flesh. Next is the Elf Dragon, or the Fairy Dragon. This beauty is the second dragon to only be obtained through a trader. The traders can be found in cherry groves and in other cold biomes. You will need to trade amethyst shards for an elf dragon egg. The babies love to eat glowberries, and this is a wind element typing, giving the weapon knockback. The armor set bonus grants haste, which is really cool. No more needing to go fight a wither to make a beacon when you got this guy's armor. Onto the Frogon Dragon. This froggy can be found in swamp biomes and is a water element typing, which also gives the weapon knockback. The armor set bonus is, well, I'll let you guess. Yes, that's right, double jump. Perfect, right? I guess because flies aren't a thing in Minecraft, the next best option was fish, because this guy likes to eat cod. Interestingly enough, the Frogon Dragon actually drops frog eggs, but I think that's just a little Easter egg. I don't think that they can be used as actual Frogon eggs to hatch more dragons. Now onto one of my personal favorites, the Gladius Dragon, or the Golden King Dragon. This is another dragon that can only be acquired through a trader. Those traders can be found in cold and mountainous biomes. You will need raw gold to trade for a Gladius egg. The babies like to eat glowstone, and it will drop golden ingots. The Gladius Dragon is the second lightning element typing on our list, meaning its weapon has the channeling ability. The armor set bonus grants the user Strength 3. The Myth Dragon, or the Obsidian Dragon, is next. This is the second Wither element typing, which gives the weapon the Wither ability. The armor set bonus grants the user Resistance 3, which is super strong. And if the Clang armor set ever gets nerfed, this is a great backup. This dragon spawns rather frequently, but especially in caves and in the Nether. It can be tamed with obsidian, and it will also drop obsidian. The Night Stalker Dragon is next. I've been referring to this dragon as the Nargacuga Dragon for Monster Hunter. And for those of you who played it, you'll kind of know exactly what I'm talking about. This dragon is another Wither elemental typing, and its armor set bonus grants the user Night Vision. It can be found in deserts and can be tamed with raw gold. It does not have a secondary item drop. This is the Turix Dragon. It is the second and last bipedal dragon in the add-on so far. It is a wind typing, which grants the weapon knockback. Its armor set bonus is also surprisingly jump boost. It can be found in jungle and mountainous biomes. It likes to eat cod, and it does not have a secondary item drop. Now onto the Rex Dragon. Speaking of Monster Hunter, this one reminded me of the Tigrex, and it is another trader-only dragon. This trader can be found in mesa and desert biomes. It is an earth element typing, which gives the weapon slowness, and the armor set bonus grants resistance. But out of all of the armor sets, this one has to be one of the coolest, with the helmet giving the head of that T-Rex such a cool design. The Rex Dragon eats pork chops and does not have a secondary item drop. Next is the Sakura Dragon. 3 guesses on where you find this one. Yes, in the Cherry Grove biomes. This dragon is a wind typing, giving its weapon knockback, and the armor set bonus grants a health boost, which gives you an extra 4 hearts. It can be tamed with any red flower, and does not have a secondary item drop. Now on to another one of my personal favorites, the Searclaw Dragon. The only dragon that is native and only found in the Nether. This monstrosity is the big brother to the Ace Dragon, being a fire typing, giving the weapon that special flame ability, and its armor set is similar to the Blaze Falcon, giving the flaming thorns, which sets attackers on fire. It can be tamed with beef and does not have a secondary item drop. The opposite element to fire is ice, and the Snowflake Dragon is next. Being an ice element typing, its weapon and armor bonuses apply slow to attackers and enemies alike. It is one of the more unique armor designs as well, giving your character this Eskimo Arctic Samurai vibes with a fluffy hood and robe. It can very easily be found in any snowy biome, and it likes to eat and drop snowballs. Probably one of the coolest designed dragons is next with the Solar Dragon, another trader-only dragon, which can be found wandering desert coasts and beaches. You will need to collect blaze powder to trade for a solar egg. The Solar Dragon babies like to eat glowstone dust, and the solar element is fire, giving the weapons special flame, and the armor set bonus the same ability. Probably one of the largest dragons is next with the Stormbolt, the last of the lightning trio. This dragon can be found in both jungles and mountain biomes. Its weapon has the same channeling attack as the other lightning dragons, but its armor set bonus grants the user fire resistance, while also granting you a chance to randomly strike your attackers with lightning. These guys can be tamed with golden apples, and they do not have a secondary item drop. Another one of my favorites, and honestly a rather rare one, at least in my seed, is the Tidewing. Cousin to the Searclaw in design, this is the water version, granting its weapon knockback, and the armor set bonus grants the user water breathing. It can be found in ocean and cold biomes. Now, the best place that I've found to look for them was the frozen ocean biome, with all the icebergs and stuff. They can be tamed with lapis, and they do not have a secondary item drop. One of the smallest dragons on the list is the Tigress Dragon. Found in jungles and mesa biomes, this is another fire element typing, giving its weapon that special flame ability where it lights the ground underneath your enemies on fire. The armor set bonus grants the user speed. It can be tamed with beef and does not have a secondary item drop. On to one of the coolest and most difficult dragons to obtain, the Warden Dragon. Not only is this the last trader-only dragon, but the traders can only be found in deep dark biomes. To top it all off, you'll need a Nether Star in order to trade for a Warden Egg. This dragon is the only Soul Fire element typing, which gives its weapon regeneration. Basically, the Warden Dragon Sword is a lifesteal sword, and one of the best weapons on this list. The armor set bonus applies the darkness debuff to attackers, which makes this a fantastic PvP armor set for those of you playing on multiplayer servers. The Warden Dragon eats skulk veins as well as drops them. The final dragon on our list is the Zombie Dragon. This is one of the most aggressive looking designs and is basically the mummified dragon but without all the wrappings, which looks really cool. On the wiki, this dragon states that it can be found in taiga and swamp biomes. However, I think this is incorrect. Maybe just slightly, but myself and many others have only been able to find this dragon outside of spruce villages at night. I've also heard a couple people have been able to find them in swamps at night as well, but when I tried, I had no such luck. This dragon eats rotten flesh and it also drops it. The Zombie Dragon is a poison element typing, which gives this weapon the ability to poison its enemies. And the armor set bonus allows the user to eat raw food without becoming poisoned. Okay, so I lied. There is technically one more dragon on the list. However, it has eluded me. I cannot find it. It is extremely rare. I'm talking like 0.05% of people have been able to find this thing. I have only had 2 documented cases of players being able to find one. That would be the Nightlight Dragon. This dragon is supposed to be found in lush caves and on mushroom islands. It is a poison typing, and its armor set bonus grants night vision. It can be tamed with glow sacks, but it is by far the coolest looking dragon out of all of them, and probably one of my favorites. Thankfully, on the next patch, the devs have fixed its spawn rate to be more balanced. Alright, on to the known issues. Listen, this add-on is fantastic, but there's still a lot of issues that need fixed. I would almost consider this to be like in the beta stages, honestly. But I've been following the dev team on this since release, and they're working on a lot of changes coming very soon. Here's a list of the known issues and fixes coming in the next patch, as well as a few workarounds for some things in the meantime. Spawn rates. Guys, listen, I know, the spawn rates are kind of ridiculous. There's too many issues with things being either way too high or way too low. But spawn rates for all dragons will be tuned down in the next patch. The trader dragons currently spawn very frequently and have no way of drowning, leading to an overabundance of swimming dragons. This will be fixed on the next patch. The dragon fruit traders are currently coded incorrectly to a spawn block of a grass path, not a grass block. This will be fixed on the next patch. Now, workaround to increase the fruit trader spawn chance is to dig out a chunk or more of grass path around a village. This was directly from one of the devs. I have not personally tried this. Let me know if you have, and leave a comment down below if you've been able to increase the spawn chances. Now, I know a lot of people are having issues with flying, and the fly coding is bugged, and for some reason it forgets that the player is flying, causing you to either not be able to fly at all or just fall out of the sky randomly. The flying experience has been worked on extensively and will be improved and fixed on the next patch. The Night Stalker Dragon's pruning table is also bugged. That causes the dragon to no longer drop scales. This will be fixed on the next patch. Now, workaround for this was discovered completely by accident and is still not 100% consistent, but I've had it work a couple times for me. But at night, when the dragon is sleeping, you can spam the L trigger with your shears out to get at least one scale to drop from each dragon. This is if the dragon is close to shedding. Your indicator for if this worked is if the notification "This dragon has no loose scales" does not show up immediately. Some other small fixes coming in the next patch include armor and weapon recipes not showing in the crafting catalog, adjustments to flight screen to make things easier to see, weapon damage tuning, adjustments to the dragon spawn blocks to keep them from spawning inside structures, and more information added to the Dragonpedia. But for now, that's all I have on the Dragonfire add-on. I will be following this next patch closely to see what other changes and fixes they may add in. And if you enjoyed this video, or found it helpful in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as hit the bell next to it to stay up to date with all my latest content. I'm sorry that was such a long video. I'm sorry it took me so long to finish, but your boy has a full-time job and a kid, so I only have so much time to play games. If you made it to the end, drop a comment letting me know which dragons was your favorite. Also, if you guys are playing and having issues, drop by my Discord for help. The join link is down in the description. I'm also going to include a link to the Dragonfire add-on wiki, which is still heavily under construction, but has some info in there, especially for this add-on and not the Java mod. That's much different. But that's all for me for now. Wolf, out!